promoting businesses and organizations to help them reach their full potential. Lighten the path to the success of your business. Enhancing the lives of our listeners by talking about things that matters most. Helping you to shine your light emotionally, mentally, spiritually, socially, and physically. Spreading positive vibes. You've got it locked and you're listening to Light Vibrations, brought to you by Lyte Communications right here on CBN Radio 90.9 FM. And now your host and our director, Natasha Letza.
Hello, you got it locked. You're listening to Light Vibrations, chilling here with your girl Natasha T, aka Roxy. We have on the program with us today Sandra. Welcome to the program, Sandra.
Thanks for having me.
The pleasure is all mine, darling. Now, you know, Light Vibrations, we're all about uplifting, edifying, educating, and inspiring. What do you have for us today?
Well, I think a good topic to have on your program is building healthy relationships. Because in this era, so many relationships fail because people just don't get it. And there's so many reasons I think that is.
So let's try to hit these reasons. Why is the family structure breaking down? Why are we not getting it? What are some of the issues that we're looking at?
First of all, I think the music and the programs you watch on TV are big influence. You might not notice it, but it is. The family structure that there was when I was growing up is definitely not the same. You know, when you listen to the music, it's talking about building stacks and, you know, FDs,
Tricks.
female dogs, and,
Yeah.
you know, FDs, you know, and it's just no respect. I think the music that this generation listen to now is teaching them no respect for females. And females now, the music that they're listening to is about these guys and, you know, using people, and it's I don't know, it's just the music have an influence because it's not soulful like it used to be. I don't even listen to the crap nowadays. I listen to back in the day music where you could feel it. If you're going through a heartbreak, you could so relate to those old time love songs and stuff. If you're in love, you know, those old time love songs will get you in a mood. This music now is just garbage. There's no inspiration from them, you know. And I think that has a lot to do with it, A. And B, there's no there's no example nowadays. Everyone is just kind of doing their own thing. I think everyone is just basically doing their own thing and has lost what a healthy relationship should be.
What it looks like. Sandra, I love where this topic going, you know, because it's very interesting that you brought up the whole perspective on the music and the culture and the impact it's having on the upbringing of our little boys and girls that turn into men and women that perpetuate it to their sons and daughters. It is crazy. Like you say, you go on, you turn on the radio, and if they ain't talking about hoes and slides and all of that, if they ain't talking about make this money, they're not promoting a message of love, of unity, of family, of togetherness. They ain't promoting that. They promoted everybody for themselves and God for us all. The type of mentality. And I'm glad you also to mention the impact from, you know, the female perspective, because when you look at it, we getting down with the music or that generation or these people. So the mentality is like they're buying into that. I ain't nothing but a slide anyway, so let me make this money. When it is in the past, when me and you were growing up, you had to keep your count low.
Exactly.
You keep your count low. Nowadays, I know of people who had sex for the first time and lost their virginity, right? And tell their partner they don't sleep with one or two other people. Like, it ain't hard, like, to be a virgin and to have sex. No, you don't want that drama because it can be like, oh, like you catching feelings or you catching attachment. It's like, Nobody don't care about that.
Right.
They even ashamed of it, and I like that blew
Right.
my mind.
Yeah, because people expect to everything nowadays is just about the intimacy of things. It's just about sex.
Mm-hmm.
That's all people care about, sex. It's like you just a slide or this thought. That's the new word, thought. Like, you know, they're making up, and it's so crazy how they're making up these names for promiscuous females.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's to show the lack of respect. So building a healthy relationship is kind of I don't want to use the word impossible, but it's going to be difficult because the generation coming up does not have a model to, you know, to I haven't a lost words, to look at or to admire, or to, they don't have that structure to say, yes, this is what I want, because everything around them is promoting not anything serious, but just you hit and you run.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have a clue. They might like somebody and might vibes with somebody, and then the minute a miscommunication happen, it's out the door. So so they don't. The thing is, with building healthy relationships, communication is the best and first key, because we as female, a man is not as vocal as we are.
Mm-hmm.
So he might not vocalize something, and to us as a female, everyone does it. We don't make up 15 stories in our head.
Facts.
Okay, and it might not even be the case, and then we don't make up all 15 stories, and then we don't feel how we have to feel about what we made up in our head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that, because we're not communicating anything, that's gonna cause problem. And then it's gonna be you nagging and this and then the other thing. That's one. Two, besides communication, respect. Like I said with the music, the respect is little to none. My thing is, I've been in a relationship for nearly 8 years. It has been rocky. The first, second year is your honeymoon stage.
Definitely.
The third year, after the second year, is when you really get to know the person. Actually, after the first year, how things going now. Mm-hmm. After the first year, you really get to see the person's real now personality, and that's when you have to decide whether you can deal with this personality, or is this a personality you can't deal with. The guy I'm dating, this is the first guy I've ever dated that's so sensitive. Mm-hmm. I am so rough around the edges, as you know. So that was new to me. So it kind of, because he is sensitive, it sort of counteracted my norm of acting how I would act in certain situations. Right. So that kind of worked for me. At a point, I had to sit back and analyze, is this person a person I could deal with for the rest of my life? Because when I think of a relationship, I don't think that it's going to end. Right. So that's a question that I have to ask myself. And I don't think people ask themselves these questions. But anyway, I had to ask, is this a relationship? If this person's personality I could deal with for the rest of my life? And I thought about it, and I in psychology, when I was doing a class, we had to write down like the pros, like a person, something you like about a person, write down all the pros, have a list with all the pros and all the cons. And if the pros list is better than the cons, then of course clearly it's a good thing. So I found myself doing that. Mm-hmm. So I did the pros and I did the cons, and then the pros was so much longer. The pros list was so much longer than the cons list. And then I had to step back and say to myself, look how we just zoom in on the negative.
Facts.
If we take 2 steps back and then these are the good attributes towards this person, mm-hmm. the negatives won't seem so magnified. Because it was literally like 3 negatives versus like 25 positives. I was running out of page mm-hmm. on that side of the list. And I had to say to myself, Sandra, you're not him. He's not you. You can't expect him to be you. And vice versa, he can't expect you to be him. What you need to do is learn to respect who he is. If he's sensitive, you might not understand it. You might not most times agree with certain things, but you just have to respect that's who he is. And at the same time, it's the same thing I'm going to ask in return. You don't have to understand when I get how I get. You don't have to like it, but you just have to respect. This is Sandra. This is her, and then you have to ask yourself, can I deal with this? Do I want to deal with
change?
This? That that's the thing. We cut things off way too quickly before analyzing, getting that deep in things. So those things I think would help in building a healthy relationship.
Sandra, I love in this conversation because that is so true. And I was thinking about it the other day. Just the other day, I made one of my How to Shine Your Light videos, and I was talking about that because sometimes we get caught up in the negativity of one or two little things that the person is doing wrong or that you're not getting or not getting enough of out of the relationship. And then, in your own negative self-thought, right? Come up with a whole rap shit against this person when you really look all these wonderful other qualities that they have. But because we live in a society where it's like mass production, like mass food production, everybody want to sample this, want to sample that. They're not really committed to that.
Right.
So sometimes people just searching for something. Some people get into relationships and for one reason or the other, they get bored or whatever. They don't have a conversation with the partner. They don't tell the partner where they're going wrong. They don't offer solutions for change. They don't give the person an opportunity to change. They're okay, let me cut and run on to the next thing. But then what you look at when you continue to do this, you end up in a vicious cycle over time, and you wake up 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years and you realize you ain't grow. You're stagnant. You might have a little fun time for the what you call a honeymoon phase. But so every year or every other year, you're jumping from man to man, woman to woman. And then at the end of the day, when you jump from here to there, to Tom, Dick, and Susie, how much children you leaving in the wayside? And you start off talking about how we gonna build healthy families, but the truth of the matter, the fact is, Sandra, the building healthy families have to start in the house. So you in the house with your husband, with your significant other, you have to show them children examples of love and how a family should operate. Like in my girls, they hate to see me being affectionate. Wait, Terry, they hate to see me being affectionate. Like, mommy, no. Especially the little one, she'll come if we hug or if we kiss. She won't come in the middle and telling him, oh, don't touch her, mommy. I want to block, like, seriously. And I'm like, baby, no, this is how we don't be in there arguing. We showing them, positivity because
you should let her know this is how a man should treat you. When a man love you, he shows you affection. You should say, you see like how mommy love you and mommy does hug you all the time. That's how a man should treat you. Don't let a man treat you anything less. And I have a son and a daughter. My son is old enough to know stuff, and I just let him to know. You would want anyone to treat me bad or do any bad things to me or hit me or whatever. He say, no, you crazy? You want me to, how sons are protective. And I'm like, okay, exactly how you feel about me. When you start to date and you dating anyone, you picture that. Let me treat her how I want to see a man treat my mom, or how I think my mom deserves to be treated. I say, don't ever raise a hand at a woman. Don't ever disrespect a woman, especially one that you're dating. Always respect a woman. It starts with respect. And you show her how you want to be loved. That's what any relationship I'm in. They have to love me in my love language. They have to love me how I deserve to be loved, not how they want to treat me. I'll be like, listen, I can be your best friend, or I can be your worst enemy. So you pick, because I'm from one extreme to the next. And when I'm good, I'm really good. When I'm bad, you could just call me Lucifer, because it's that bad, bad. So I just make them love me how I deserve to be loved. And it's not a one-way street, and I gave it back. You have to reciprocate. Definitely. I gave it back. Definitely. So that they see something long-term. Because if I go in a relationship, I don't think about it as just to pass time. I'm getting old.
Facts.
I don't want to be out here dating. They say work, okay, next person dating, they say work, okay. No. When if I decide to get serious with a person, I look at you like if I could look at you, be with you for the rest of my life. And we're going to go through stuff. I'm one to cut and run. I don't want to sound so bad. So in the past, you pissed me off once, I would just say, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, I don't like that. And if you do the things I don't like one too many times, I'm not one to be forgiving. The guy I'm dating now has taught me how to be more forgiving if you want to look at a long term. And it's been work in progress, but right now like I said, we're nearly 8 years in, and we are in a good place. Like, all our problems and issues we had, that was hashed out 3-4 years ago. So we went through it all. And I was like, I don't want to be here. And, and he fought for the relationship. And every time he showed me that he'll do better and, he could be a better person, and he sees something in me that makes he want to change his faults and stuff. Well, I held on to my faults, and over time, I noticed something in him, like really, really in him. Once I realized he's a person for me, I noticed something in him that made me want to change my faults. So we both changed, not for the other person per se, but he encouraged me to be my best self.
And you know why that is? And that is something I continue to talk about. When we highlighting each other's challenges or each other's flaws, we have a tendency in relationships, you with my man, and I say, okay, I don't like what you're doing, bam, 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 this is what I want you to do. You don't come back and tell me, well, I don't like what you're doing, bam, bam, bam. But you think anybody's studying the other person?
No.
You doing your thing, I doing my, because I waiting on you to effect this change.
Right.
And that's what we do in relationship. But I say, be the change you want to see. You do it. And if that person, even if they jump on board right away, like what happened to you, because you're a good woman and you acknowledge what this, look what he doing, this is what, it softens your heart to say, okay, let me take a look at myself. Let me address the issue because I see you doing this, I see you doing that. And that's what we need to do in relationships.
Exactly.
Somebody have to take the lead.
Exactly.
But sometimes we just keep back, just stay back and say, okay, like you say, it will fix itself, and it won't. It won't. And I just want to go back a bit to where we were talking about our sons and imagery and all of that, right? Because with my sons, you tell your son, don't ever hit a woman, blah, 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 and all of that is great. With my sons, whenever I see an example of anything I could teach, I do that. And I tell them straight up, because you gotta look at it holistically. You got a whole set of other type of females out here too, Ratchet. Where it have these females, right? They will hit you first. And from the first time you let a woman hit you first, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Because they're going to continue to push, and they're going to have this loving man who ain't going to want to. They ain't going to hit you back. He going to allow you. And meanwhile, the more he allowing, the more you doing. The more they allowing, the more you doing. That's how it is in them toxic relationship. When somebody get, especially a woman, I run this show. We going to assault our dominance, and I tell them, let me tell you something. Do not bring them. Know what kind of woman you bring into my meal, because me playing that. Don't listen, I see them horror stories of good man having these kind of women. And let me tell you, when you hit your boogie wheel, I can't do my mother, with the wrong buggy in life, is a matter of life or death, literally. And I think we take these relationships too simple, and we need to stop it.
It's very true. I agree with what you say, but on the flip side of teaching my son not to hit a female, I also let him to know, don't take any nonsense from nobody, because he knows me. I'm a strong woman. I'm a no-nonsense woman. And, he gets that from me because I solely raise him. So I see he gets a lot of things from me. So he will definitely not be the one any female wants to play around with. And I just said it, when you picking anybody, girl child, you make sure you pick the right one. You make sure you pick somebody who's gonna mesh well with you and who's gonna complement your personality. So, you know, he gets that because he don't get down like that.
I think it's very important for us, like I said, to start in our family, to identify, to show our children, because if we're looking to effect change, we have to impact or influence the younger ones coming up.
Yeah, but we've gotten so lost. We've gotten so lost. I've seen adults can't get relationships together because, like you said, the whole sampling this and sampling that, is like nobody wants to take it seriously. Like if you choose to make somebody your partner, your girlfriend, your mate, your whatever you want to call them, whatever the terminologies different people use, you know, they have to stick to that. But I think people just have the ideology that, well, I just bored. What do you mean you bored?
Yeah.
If you want to be together for the rest of your lives, hopefully, you can't get bored. Figure out something. Well, if we used to do this in the beginning, and because of kids or, you know, your jobs or whatever it is, different things might influence the way how you spend time together, what's not. Figure it out. Set up date night, even if it's once a month, once a quarter, once a something, or on Sundays. Play games together, you know, do something together. Make even if you have to cook together. Like, that's what me and my boyfriend do. I'll cook one night, he'll cook one night, we'll cook together one night. Sometimes when it's my turn to cook, he'll be like, babe, let me come help you. And then I'll be like, okay, cool. When his turn is like, okay, babe, let me come help you. And like, we'll do stuff together. You know, we get distracted with social media, with everybody on their phone when they're home or watching TV. There's no real interactions. Sometimes when we're home, if he's on his phone scrolling Facebook, now I'm on my phone scrolling or playing games or whatever, I'll be like, man, let me play a game, like a pool game, a phone game. So you on your phone, I'm on my phone. Let's play a phone game together. And then we'll chat each other out and we'll make bets and make it a little more interesting. And you know, you just have to figure stuff out. We try to go on dates as often as we could. That works sometimes. It don't sometimes, and it's fine, because then we'll date each other home. We'll say, okay, we're going to cook up a nice meal. We're going to buy some nice steaks and throw them on the grill, cook up, and we sit on our balcony and we'll have a nice meal.
Wonderful. And I think that is what it is. People don't get bored, you know, they get lazy.
That's it.
They get lazy. The things that you used to do that made me fall in love with you, the things that I used to do that warmed your heart. You know, when I get you or when you get me, you know, we figure we don't need to feed the relationship. Right. We figure the love that we have should carry us through till thine kingdom come. But then how we go, a fellow the other day come to me and he say, you need to come on your show and talk about how it is when women get married, they flip the whole script. If they don't do anything they used to do, they used to have sex, they ain't having sex, they used to wear certain clothes, they used to fix themselves in a certain way. And as soon as you get a man locked down, you stop doing all of that because you don't feel it's important, right? And to some degree, ain't just with women, with men, you know. It's the men with women as well, because there's some of the things that you used to do, like, you know, I like Guinea. You used to come and bring me buckets of Guinea. No, season out. I got to be either buying Guinea or begging man to pick Guinea for me. Them things is wrong.
I definitely understand
wrong, and I think we need to.
The consistency.
Yes,
the consistency.
That's big.
You know, healthy relationships, it stays healthy with consistency, communication, respect. Those three. Because just how he started in our relationship, literally, he's been more consistent than me. And sometimes I don't probably vocalize it, but I take a step back and notice he been doing this from day one. 7 years and a whole baby later, he's still doing it. Like the little simple things that he does. He did it then, and he's doing it now. And I think it's because he's just so genuine with what he does, you know, and it make me question myself, like, well, you used to do this and that, and you just stop. Like, what the heck happened? And like you say, it's like, I just can't be bothered. But sometimes he'll just, because he's still, whether I'm bothered or not, he still remains his consistency. If he's in town and he's coming home, he never leaves home without calling me and saying, babe, you need anything from town? You need anything from the store? You want me to get you anything at all before I come home? Never. And I don't even think about that. If I'm in town, I do my running around, doing what I have to do, and I get home. I never once would think, even till now. And he does it every single day. And it never dawned on me to do it back to him. Simple things he know I like, he will just get it for me and surprise me with it.
Yeah.
And he's just genuine. And I mean, you can't force somebody to be genuine, but I think if you love someone, if you truly love someone, and a lot of us get mistaken with love and lust and infatuation,
Right.
but if you truly love someone, it's just easy to do the things that's pleasing to them because it's pleasing to you as well when you see your loved one happy, like from small gestures and stuff like that, you know. And like I said, because he is who he is, it's helping me to be a better Sandra
person.
every day in a relationship versus how I was when I first started dating. I am a whole different person. My tolerance level is better. I have more patience. I don't snap as often. You know, I've learned to say sorry because those words was not in my vocab at all. Like, you piss me off, I react, we brawl, or they're not brawl. I don't want to say brawl. Like, we get in a heated argument. I'm always win an argument. So when I win an argument, you know, and stuff, I won't come back and say sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I argue to hurt your feelings. I wanted to hit you where it hurt. I go in for the jugular. So when my words leave my lips and enter your ears, your feelings should be so hurt that, you know, you just distraught. That's how I used to argue. And I've learned to not do that because when I think about it, this is a person I love, and that's not healthy for our relationship.
Amen. Amen. Listen, we got the next couple of minutes of the show, right? And I got to ask you this question. You say you're in a good place in your relationship and, you know, what's going on with the marriage talk? And would you pop the question? Is it okay for a woman who believes that you have such a dull of a relationship, you're so mature, the relationship has matured you, you know what you're about, it's time to put a stamp on it? Would you say, hey, baby, stop playing, like, bring the ring and come? I want to
tell
marry
him
you?
that all the time. I just be like, dude, like, what you waiting on? But, you know.
No. I say if you.
Oh, if I will?
That's what I asked.
Coulda never. Never. Okay? I want you to, you know, as rough and tough around the edges I am, as much as I'm independent and just me, I still have that inside of me, that Sandra growing up watching the fairy tales and, you know, that whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not a lovey-dovey kind of person. He is. I'm not. But I expect that. Let's keep some tradition. Gosh. You know? So I'm expecting that. And I'll be like, dude, like, what the heck? What you doing? What we doing? A whole baby after, and we still here shacking up. I ain't trying to be shacking up. I'm trying to get good with God, and let's at least at home.
Oh gosh, you know what, Sandra? That's a whole nother topic. Because trust me, I got so much to say about that, but we ain't have the time for this on this show. But I want to thank you so much for coming on the program. You know, the words, your insight. I know it will impact many because what you stood here, you thought was the truth. Yeah. And the truth is always the guiding path. Yeah. Trust me, it's always the shining light. And if more people will sit back and do what you do, look at things honestly, you know, and because in the beginning of my relationship, I had it too. Like I was accustomed to spending a lot of time with my mate. And then I get somebody who have a lot of friends and I don't have a lot of friends and always on the street and stuff like that. It was bothering me because I'm like, I ain't accustomed to that.
Right.
And I had to really, it was messing with me for a while, but then I had to do what you did. I had to sit down and come up with my list and balance out the negative chatter in my head. And I said to myself, well, look over this. And you ain't cousin man because he got friend. Go find some friend. Go find some friend, my girl. And then that's what I had to do. You know, I have friend coming between your relationship. But that's what it is. That's maturity. Yeah. That's you know, really being honest in your approach to how you view things. So I give you one last opportunity to seal that up for us.
Well, guys, if it's someone you see or someone you're dating that you think is totally worth it, you can't expect change from one and not from the other. Commitment, respect, and what was the other one we talked about?
The commitment, respect.
Commitment, respect. There was three of them. Consistency. Commitment, respect, consistency. Those three will. I'm not gonna say it's a bed of roses all the time, but it's gonna be a lot better than what you were doing before. Trust me. And it has to be a two-way street. It cannot be one person is trying to be committed and showing respect and showing consistency when the other one is just sitting back for the ride. So if you guys have that mate that you see that potential in, and it can work, and you're looking for your happily ever after, work for it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for tuning in to Lyte Vibration. And don't forget to tune in this time next week as we continue to bring you life-changing information. Until next time, shine your light.